Tahes.id, a service application in controlling health in activities and an integrated provider of nutritional intake based on machine learning. Tahes.id application provides information on the calorie needs to be needed and provides an alternative to fulfill the calories and nutrition needed by carrying out activities or consumption intake. Consumption intake services are provided by providing a list of food that should be consumed with nutritional and calorie content that can be purchased through the Tahes.id application. Tahes.id. As a business platform, we have some vision and mission. Our vision is creating a friendly and integrated personal trainer platform to support the creation of healthy lifestyle. And then there are three our mission. First, manage the user's daily activity according to the specific target. And two, turning Tahes.id into an integrated personal trainer application with an easy and efficient process. And the last, our mission is increase public knowledge in maintaining physical health and food intake. Health has become the most important things in carrying out life and important concern for many parties who are very closely related by supporting human activities. The pattern of nutrition consumed is very influential on the level of health, one of which is an inaccurate pattern, namely consuming food or drinks over calories that are not following needs. It can cause health problems, one of which is obesity. The data shows that the trend of obesity in Indonesia has increased by up to 7.3%, causing Indonesia to be in 10th highest rank in the world. This increase is influenced by the pattern of nutrition and irregular sports activities, so there is a need for a system that can help create a good pattern of nutrition and activities to balance the body's calorie needs. Currently, people's dependence on smartphone is getting higher, so that business opportunities in the field of digital products have a promising market, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Like today, health has become the main orientation for the community, and an application about healthy living is needed by the community. Therefore, Tahes.id is here to provide the best service with several advantages, including integrated personal trainer with a healthy food marketplace, economical and practical price using collaboration with trainers, and then complex service features with analysis and workout reference. And then Tahes.id is easy and attractive appearance, and then flexible service usage, and also data security is guaranteed. And then market size of Tahes.id. Tahes.id has target market about 25% of college students, and then 35% of athletes, and then 40% of people who are on diet. Tahes.id has a high opportunity business because the data show that the internet user in Malang reach 647,000. So the market opportunity of Tahes.id is about 11%, which is targeted can reach about 46,000 users. And then the HPP of Tahes.id is about 23,500 per user, which is profit transaction about 21,500, and then the HGP of Tahes.id is about 45,000 per user, which is profit per transaction is about 5,160,000. So the target sale of Tahes.id is about 240 user per month, which is the sales calculation seen from new users of the application. Next, the competition of Tahes.id. We have compared the Tahes.id with some application like FatFit and then Hitung Calorie. We compare Tahes.id with some parameter like calorie counter, exercise guide, marketplace, consultation, price, and payment system. Tahes.id. As the business platform, there are many features of Tahes.id, like nutrition checker, integrated marketplace, workout guide, and monitoring, and also projection. This is some capture about the application of Tahes.id. And then this is the business model of Tahes.id, which is there are users who are people on a diet, athlete, and college student. And then there are mitra of Tahes.id is healthy food industry and trainer. And then Tahes.id application as a marketplace and independent workout features. And then there are trainer and courier. Here workout training and food delivery. And then there are 3 target students. There is people who are on diet, about 40%, and then athlete, about 30%, and then college student, about 20%. And then this is the theme of Tahes.id. And then this is the financial snapshot from Tahes.id. We can get some financial from funding and shell. This is the calculation shells seen per year of Tahes.id. And then we have some budget plan allocation of the funding of ASMI 2021. There are some budget proportion. We need material cost about 26%, and then the equipment cost about 29%, and then market cost about 17%, and then the rent a place cost about 6%, and then the legality costs about 18%, and the last backup cost about 4%. So the total of our budget proportion is 100%. And next, this is the process production of Tahes.id. There are 8 stages in process production of Tahes.id. First, designing application according to consumer needs, and then create views and features in the admin panel, and then populate the database with previously required data, and then design the look of an app design on Android, and then designing an application programming interface. And then the stage 6, that is connect Android apps with databases via API, and then testing the application, and the last launch and up to Google Play. As the business platform, Tahes.id has a market validation. This is the capture of market validation of Tahes.id. Based on market validation to 60 respondents, according to the target market, Tahes.id shows potential market. That is testimony from Tahes.id. And the last, meet our teams, Tahes.id, Miftah Luri Gustita as the CEO, Muhammad Rafiul Korni as the CMO, Aini Salsabila as the CFO, Ivan Hidayat as the CTO, and Isbah Hulailatil as the COO. Stay healthy with Tahes.id.